One of the country's most popular crackers is issuing a voluntary recall tonight because of a mix-up with packaging.
Still think crackers are a light, wholesome snack? You might want to think again. You grab a box of crackers expecting a light golden crunch. Instead, you bite into a salty brick laced with oils, sugar, and chemicals your body never asked for. They're sold as wholesome snacks, but for seniors, they're a fast track to blood pressure spikes and kidney strain. From cheesy flavors to buttery textures and nostalgic favorites, dietitians warn that many popular crackers fall short nutritionally. We're counting down 7 crackers you should never touch, and ending with 2 that are actually safe. Let's start with the buttery classic that hides the biggest trap: Ritz crackers. Coming in at number 7, we've got Ritz crackers, the so-called buttery classic that's been fooling shelves for decades. Open a sleeve of Ritz, and the smell is warm, golden, nostalgic. You pop one in, expecting comfort, but what you're chewing is a mix of refined flour, oils, and sweeteners baked into a fragile disc. It's the illusion of real food, a chemical cookie dressed up as a cracker. But here's the kicker: just 5 crackers, and you're already in trouble. One serving is only 5 crackers. That tiny handful costs you 80 calories, 4.5 grams of fat, and 105 milligrams of sodium. Nobody stops at 5. Eat 10, you've just doubled everything. The light snack becomes a stealth fat and salt bomb in under 2 minutes. And the ingredients? Let's break the buttery glow. Enriched flour stripped of fiber, high fructose corn syrup sneaking sugar where it doesn't belong, and palm oil blended with soybean oil, the exact pro-inflammatory mix dietitians warn about. Even soy lecithin and the vague phrase, natural flavors, raise eyebrows. That last one's a food industry loophole, a catch-all label that can legally hide chemical additives without telling you what they are. Experts like Mary Sabat, RDN, have called out Ritz for promoting chronic inflammation and blood sugar spikes. Why does this matter? Seniors on blood pressure or heart meds can't afford those spikes. Your kidneys strain, your heart pounds harder, and what started as a childhood favorite becomes a health landmine in retirement. Ever notice how they melt on your tongue almost instantly? That's not lightness. That's the fat and sugar combo coating your mouth with a fake buttery film. Your brain thinks it's satisfying. Your body? It's left wanting real nutrients. That's why you keep reaching for more sleeves. A whistleblower dietitian once joked, "Ritz is 5 bites of nostalgia followed by a day of regret." And they weren't wrong. FDA nutrition tables confirm Ritz offers less than 1 gram of fiber per serving. That means 0 staying power. You're essentially eating air sprayed with salt and oil. So what's the fix? Swap the sleeve for something simple. A slice of whole grain toast with a natural nut butter gives you real fiber, healthy fat, and protein. Or keep it even plainer, oat cakes with a drizzle of honey. You'll feel full, not fooled. Now let's talk about the bigger betrayal. Ritz markets itself as everybody's snack, the family table favorite. The ads show laughter, gatherings, wholesome moments. But look past the smiles. The product is built from the cheapest refined flour, cheapest seed oils, and sugar syrups that would be banned in higher quantities in some parts of Europe. It's not nostalgia, it's processed profit in a shiny red box. Ritz isn't buttery comfort, it's sugar-coated regret, packed 5 crackers at a time. That's just the first bite of trouble. Next up, a cracker that thinks chicken bouillon powder counts as real food. Sliding into number 6, we've got chicken in a biscuit, the cracker that somehow thought fried chicken skin in powder form was a good marketing move. Pop open the box and it hits you. A wave of salty, fake chicken aroma, like bouillon cubes left too long on a hot stove. It smells like comfort food, but the truth is you're about to crunch into a sodium brick dressed up as a snack. Would you sprinkle chicken bouillon on cardboard and call it a snack? Because that's pretty much what this is. Let's run the numbers. 12 crackers give you 160 calories, 19 grams of carbs, and 230 milligrams of sodium. That's per serving. Who eats only 12? Double that handful, and you're already pushing 500 milligrams of sodium, a quarter of the daily limit the FDA sets for adults. And for seniors with blood pressure meds, that's like throwing fuel on a fire. But here's the part that's really sneaky. The flavor doesn't come from real chicken. It's a cocktail of seasoning blends, flavor enhancers, and chemicals designed to mimic meat. You're chewing on refined white flour glued with canola oil and chicken flavor that has about as much in common with real roasted chicken as grape soda has with actual grapes. But here's the shocker. It's not just salt. These crackers are nothing but empty refined carbs. That means your blood sugar spikes, your insulin goes crazy, and half an hour later, you're back in the pantry craving another round. Dietitians like Lauren Maneker have flagged chicken in a biscuit for its nutrient void. meaning it fills your belly with fluff and leaves your body begging for something real. Now picture this. Seniors on kidney meds snacking through a sleeve. That sodium doesn't just raise blood pressure, it puts stress directly on already struggling kidneys. One retired nurse put it bluntly in a staff forum. It's like handing a heart patient a salt shaker and saying, "Good luck." And yet the ads? Pure nostalgia. A family smiling, dipping the crackers into cheese, passing the box around like it's harmless fun. That's the betrayal. They market it as quirky, even wholesome, but behind the bright blue packaging is a health time bomb. So you want crunchy, salty, savory? Roast chickpeas in the oven with a dash of real olive oil and herbs. Or grab carrot sticks and hummus. You'll get protein, fiber, and real satisfaction without slamming your arteries. These crackers aren't poultry. They're a processed prank that ends with your blood pressure monitor beeping. Quick question. Do you still trust the snacks you grew up with? Or has this list already ruined them for you? Drop your answer below because I bet most people have no idea what's actually in their favorite crackers. Landing at number 5, we've got Cheez-It, the neon orange square that looks more like a science experiment than a snack. Crack open a box and the smell hits you. Sharp, salty, almost cheesy. But give it a second and it feels more like oily steam rising from powdered mix. It's the kind of scent that clings to your fingers long after the cracker's gone. And that bright orange glow? It's more construction cone than cheddar. It's cheesier in color than in content. The stats look friendly at first. A serving is 27 crackers for 150 calories. That sounds like a deal compared to Ritz or chicken in a biscuit. But look closer. 230 milligrams of sodium in those little squares. That's almost 10% of your daily limit in a handful. Double it, because who stops at 27? And you're chewing through nearly half your salt budget in one sitting. And the ingredients? It starts with enriched white flour, which means stripped of fiber and nutrition. Add canola and soybean oil for shelf life, not health. Then layer on salt, whey, and flavor enhancers to trick your tongue into thinking you're eating cheese. Spoiler, you're not. Would you call it cheese if it had to be dyed radioactive orange to prove it? Dietitians warn that refined flour plus processed oils equals quick blood sugar spikes and higher inflammation. For seniors with heart issues, those sodium bombs tighten arteries and throw blood pressure into chaos. The American Heart Association has flagged snacks like Cheez-Its as hidden drivers of hypertension. For someone on blood thinners or heart meds, that's not just junk food, that's a health hazard in a cardboard box. Even staff forums poke fun. One ex-line worker joked, "That orange dust is practically permanent marker." Another admitted the factory floors were covered in a fine coating of cheesy powder that never washed out. Think about that. If it won't wash off concrete, what's it doing inside your body? Europe wouldn't let half these additives through the door. Artificial coloring like yellow 6 and certain preservatives are still flagged overseas for potential risks, but in the US, the FDA waves them through as generally recognized as safe. Safe for whom, though? And then there's the betrayal. Cheez-It markets itself with "made with real cheese" in bold letters. But scroll the ingredients, and the cheese is just part of a dehydrated powder blend mixed with oils. That's not dairy pride, that's branding sleight of hand. So what's the fix? If you want that salty, cheesy crunch, skip the box. Grab baked whole grain cheese crisps. Brands now air bake real cheese into crunchy bites without drowning them in salt and flour. Or better yet, slice actual cheddar and pair it with whole grain toast. You'll get protein, calcium, and flavor without the dust storm. Cheese powder clinging to your fingers? That's nothing. The next whole grain hero hides sugar like it's dessert night. Coming in at number 4, we've got Wheat Thins, the cracker that sells itself as a whole grain saint but eats more like a glazed cookie in disguise. Pick up the box and you'll see words like nutty, wholesome, fiber-rich. But bite down and the truth hits you. A sticky sweet edge wrapped in a salty crunch. It's not a health snack, it's sugar lacquer on cardboard with a fancy label. Would you call a glazed donut whole grain? Because that's what's happening here. Here are the numbers. 16 crackers run you 140 calories. That doesn't sound awful until you notice the 200 milligrams of sodium and 4 grams of sugar hiding inside. 4 grams of sugar in a supposed savory snack. That's the same sugar load as half a cookie. Multiply that by 2 or 3 handfuls because who eats just 16? And you're looking at dessert disguised as lunch. The betrayal goes deeper. Yes, they use whole grain wheat flour, but then they drown it in canola oil, malt syrup, refiner's syrup, plain sugar, and cornstarch. That's 3 different sugars plus refined starch, layered on top of oils known for inflammation. Add preservatives like BHT, which the FDA still greenlights despite decades of concern. And you've got a health food that eats like a chemistry set. Europe has stricter limits on BHT, while in the US, it still slides into your snack aisle. Safer overseas, sketchier at home. Why are American bodies the testing ground? For seniors, this combo is brutal. Sugar plus oils push blood sugar up, strain kidneys, and mess with meds. That sodium? 200 milligrams per serving. For someone managing blood pressure, that's a silent spike every time you grab a handful. Doctors warn that repeated spikes like this don't just pass. They chip away at arteries, day after day. And yet, the branding screams nutritious crunch. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a leaky pipe and calling it repaired. One dietitian flat out said wheat thins are more processed snack than healthful food. Staff forums even joke about how much sugar coats the dough before baking. One worker wrote, "They're sweet enough to pass for a cereal." Skip the corporate sugar games. Slice whole wheat pita into triangles, brush lightly with olive oil, add sea salt or herbs, and bake them crisp. You'll get fiber, crunch, and flavor without the sugar hit or chemical extras. Or reach for brands that stick to actual whole grains without the syrups. Wheat thins aren't thin at all. They're thick with sugar tricks. And if that sounds sweet, Walmart's bargain crackers hide an even nastier trick. Sliding into number 3, we've got Walmart's Great Value Peanut Butter Sandwich Crackers, the budget-friendly snack pack that looks like childhood comfort but eats like a heart attack waiting to happen. You see the orange wrapper. You think quick, cheap, portable fuel. But rip it open, and what you're really unwrapping is a mash of refined flour, sugar, and hydrogenated oils glued together with something they dare to call peanut butter. But here's the kicker. That peanut butter is more sugar than nut. Let's run the numbers. One pack clocks in at about 160 calories, 9 grams of fat, 210 milligrams of sodium, and that's per serving, not per handful. Stack 2 packs, which plenty of people do, and you're hitting almost half a gram of sodium before lunch. For seniors, that's a blood pressure nightmare. Add in heart meds, and you've got a recipe for dizziness, water retention, and kidney stress. The betrayal is sharp. The packaging plays on nostalgia, bright colors, smiling crackers, peanut butter protein. But the filling? It's boosted with corn syrup solids, sugar, and hydrogenated vegetable oils. Translation: empty carbs that spike blood sugar and fats that raise LDL cholesterol. It's the kind of ingredient list the FDA keeps debating, while Europe bans several of the same hydrogenated oils outright. Safer across the ocean, but here, still great value. Budget snacks with premium health risks. That's not my phrase. Dietitians have used it to describe these exact snack packs. One even said they're cookies pretending to be sandwiches, and staff forums poke fun at the thin smear of peanut butter, describing it as closer to frosting than nut spread. You bite down expecting that roasted peanut aroma. What you actually get is a cloying sweetness that coats your tongue like sticky glue. Would you trust your heart to sugar frosting in a cracker suit? For older adults, this isn't just empty snacking. It's dangerous territory. The sodium alone, 210 milligrams, is nearly 10% of your daily safe limit in just a few bites. The fats? The wrong kind. Hydrogenated oils force your heart to work harder, and that's the last thing you want while managing blood pressure, arrhythmia, or cholesterol. And let's not ignore the marketing. On-the-go protein, as if 2 grams of peanut flour makes up for all the junk riding shotgun. That protein promise is a shiny sticker on an otherwise hollow shell. The kind of trick food companies have pulled for decades, betting that most shoppers won't check the label. But you won't believe what's lurking inside until you taste the oily afterburn. Crackers should snap clean. These collapse into a gummy interior that sticks to your teeth, leaving a chemical aftertaste that water barely washes away. Cheap doesn't mean harmless. It means corners cut, ingredients swapped, and your health footing the bill. So go back to basics. Whole grain crackers with real, natural peanut butter. You spread it yourself, you know what's inside. Crunch, fiber, actual nut flavor, and none of the candy frosting masquerade. Or roasted almonds if you want grab and go without the hidden sugar hit. And Walmart isn't alone. Lance takes peanut butter and makes it even worse. At number 2, we've got Lance Toasty Peanut Butter Crackers, the neon orange snack that looks fun, but chews like regret. You see the bright radioactive crackers stacked neatly in plastic. They look cheerful, almost cartoonish. Break one open though, and the peanut butter inside glistens with a greasy sheen. It smells faintly of roasted peanuts, but what you're really tasting is palm oil, soybean oil, and corn syrup. Ever wondered why they never go stale? It's the chemicals keeping them fresh. Now the stats. One pack delivers about 180 calories, 240 milligrams of sodium, and 4 grams of sugar. Not outrageous until you realize how small the pack is. Eat 2 sleeves, and you're creeping close to 500 calories and almost half a gram of sodium. That's like downing a fast food cheeseburger in disguise. The betrayal is sharp. The brand sells nostalgia. Snack time since 1913. Pictures of kids grabbing crackers after school. But open the label and you'll see the truth. Enriched flour stripped of nutrients, hydrogenated oils that spike cholesterol, and added sugars that do nothing but strain your pancreas. And for seniors, this isn't harmless. That sodium ramps up blood pressure fast. The trans fat traces in hydrogenated oils are tied to chronic inflammation, making arthritis worse and increasing heart disease risk. Combine that with meds for cholesterol or hypertension, and these crackers go from snack to silent saboteur. But here's the real shocker. Staff forums joke these things will last longer than Twinkies. A cracker that never softens, never molds, never dies? That's not food. That's packaging you can chew. One ex-distributor admitted that cases of Toast Cheese often sat in warehouses for over a year and looked exactly the same when opened. If it doesn't rot on the shelf, what's it doing inside your body? The peanut butter itself is a trick. Instead of ground nuts, you get sugar, oils, and flavor enhancers. That's why it feels slick on your tongue instead of nutty. It coats your mouth in a way real peanut butter never does. Seniors with dentures often complain that the sticky filling clings like paste, turning snack time into a choking risk. The FDA has flagged ingredients like BHT, a preservative sometimes used in crackers like these, for ongoing review. Europe has banned or limited these additives, but in the US, still considered safe in small amounts. Small amounts, sure, but who stops at one pack? There's also the cholesterol bomb hidden in the palm and soybean oils. Dietitians point out that regular consumption of these fats raises LDL cholesterol, the bad kind that clogs arteries. For someone already managing heart disease, that's a gamble you don't want. The fix is simple. Skip the neon box. Try celery sticks with natural peanut butter. You'll get crunch, fiber, and real nut protein without the chemical cocktail. Or spread almond butter on whole grain toast if you need portable fuel. Your heart, kidneys, and blood pressure will thank you. At the end of the day, Lance Toast Cheese isn't snack time. It's shelf-stable junk dressed up as peanut butter. And finally, the worst offender, a cheddar sandwich cracker that's practically toxic. Coming in at number 1, we've got Keebler Club and cheddar sandwich crackers, the cheddar classic that's less cheese and more chemical orange paste. The box screams fun. Bright green Keebler elves, golden crackers, a promise of sharp cheddar sandwiched in between. You expect a creamy cheese bite. Instead, you get a greasy wafer that smells faintly like melted plastic and tastes like salty cardboard dunked in food dye. This isn't cheese, it's chemical orange goo. Now the numbers. One little pack holds 190 calories, 310 milligrams of sodium, and 5 grams of sugar. Doesn't sound horrible until you realize this is a snack, not a meal. Seniors eating 2 packs for quick fuel? That's nearly 400 calories and over 600 milligrams of sodium, almost half a day's limit, slammed in a handful of crackers. The betrayal is brutal. Marketed as snack time made better, these crackers promise wholesome cheddar flavor. But flip that label and you'll see the real recipe. Enriched flour stripped of nutrients, TBHQ preservative linked to gut and liver concerns, and yellow 6 dye. That's right. The bright orange filling is closer to a lab experiment than dairy. Nutritionists point out that TBHQ and artificial dyes like yellow 6 are restricted or flat-out banned in Europe. In the US, the FDA still allows them in safe amounts. Safe for whom? Seniors already juggling high blood pressure meds and kidney stress don't need to snack on chemicals that other countries won't even put near school lunches. Break the cracker in half and you'll see it. The cheese filling isn't crumbly or rich. It's glossy, almost plastic-like, with a gummy pull that sticks to your teeth. That texture doesn't come from cheddar. It comes from a blend of oils, corn syrup solids, and powdered cheese flavor. If your cheese can outlive real cheddar by years, is it even food? Health-wise, these things are a nightmare. 310 milligrams of sodium per pack is a blood pressure time bomb. Seniors with heart conditions face fluid retention, higher risk of stroke, and swelling from excess sodium. Add in the refined flour that spikes blood sugar, and you've got the perfect storm for diabetes and hypertension. Even worse, TBHQ has been flagged by watchdog groups for links to allergic reactions and possible neurological impacts. The FDA says it's safe in moderation, but moderation doesn't exist when these crackers are sold in multi-packs designed for daily snacking. And let's not forget the dye. Yellow 6 has been connected to hyperactivity in kids and is limited in Europe. Here in the US, it still paints your crackers bright orange because companies know it sells. Would you ever bite into cheddar that glows like a traffic cone? The solution is easy. Skip the Elf branded box. Buy real whole wheat crackers and pair them with slices of sharp cheddar. You'll get fiber, protein, and actual nutrients, not a Frankenstein mix of preservatives and dye. Because at the end of the day, Keebler's cheddar cracker isn't a snack. It's a science experiment in a wrapper, but not every cracker is trash. Two brands actually deliver the crunch without the chemical storm. Bonus. Pick number 1 goes to Kind. Healthy Grains Crackers. Finally, a cracker that doesn't trick you. After sitting through a parade of greasy orange fillings and lab-dyed cheddar, you deserve something real. Kind Healthy Grains crackers actually look and feel different. When you open the pack, you don't get hit with a chemical puff. Instead, you see little flecks of oats, millet, quinoa, and chia seeds baked right into the cracker. At last, grains you can recognize without a chemistry degree. Now, let's talk numbers. A serving still has about 7 grams of sugar, but that comes with a trade-off: higher fiber, omega-3s from chia, and a dose of whole grains that your body can actually use. That fiber helps with digestion and keeps blood sugar steadier than the roller coaster you get from refined flour crackers. For seniors managing blood pressure and blood sugar, that difference matters. Instead of a spike and crash, you get fuel that sticks around. Here's the contrast. Big brands market whole grain on flashy boxes but sneak in canola oil, corn syrup, and preservatives like BHT. Kind doesn't need the trickery. The grains give crunch and texture naturally. Bite down, and you hear a clean snap, not the greasy crumble of an oil-soaked wafer. These crackers actually deliver what the label says. No natural flavor mystery blend. No yellow 6 glow. Just ingredients you can read aloud without needing Google Translate. Compare that to Keebler or Lance, and it's like comparing a farmer's market apple to a vending machine fruit snack. The health angle here is strong. Omega-3s help reduce inflammation. Fiber lowers cholesterol. And the blend of grains means you get a slow, steady release of energy instead of empty carbs. Seniors watching their heart health or kidney strain actually get support instead of sabotage. The FDA has pushed for more whole grain labeling for years, but Kind took the lead before others were forced. It feels weird to say this, but a cracker finally keeps its promise. And let's be real, they're not perfect. 7 grams of sugar isn't nothing, but the balance makes them one of the rare snacks where you actually get back more than you lose. Pair them with Greek yogurt, a smoothie bowl, or even a little hummus, and you've got a snack that fuels you instead of draining you. Now, here's a quick whistleblower vibe. Nutritionists have actually pointed out that Kind is one of the few brands in this space that resisted going full junk health. While other companies reformulated to cut costs with oils and fillers, Kind stuck with the grain blend. That's why their crackers don't have the gummy interior or the chemical perfume you've heard about in the worst picks. Because Kind Healthy Grains. Crackers prove something simple. Snacks don't need to be science experiments to taste good, and the cleanest of them all keeps it simple. No fake colors, no oily aftertaste, just straight up whole food crunch. Bonus pick. Number 2, Mary's Gone Crackers. The one that proves simple still wins. After a lineup of sodium bombs, oily fillings, and neon cheese dust, this cracker feels like a sigh of relief. Open a box of Mary's Gone Crackers, and you don't see fluorescent squares or smell chemical steam. You see whole seeds. You smell roasted grains. And when you bite down, the crunch is sharp, earthy, and clean, not gummy or greasy. Finally, a snack that looks like real food. Now let's look at the facts. Mary's Gone Crackers are organic, gluten-free, and built from a base of brown rice, quinoa, flax, and sesame seeds. Each serving packs fiber and plant-based protein without the hydrogenated oils, dyes, or preservatives that dominate the big-name brands. Where a Keebler sandwich cracker can throw 310 milligrams of sodium at you in one serving, Mary's gives you stable energy without punishing your kidneys or blood pressure. This is the contrast. For years, companies slapped healthy on boxes filled with enriched flour and canola oil. Seniors trusting those labels ended up with snacks that spiked blood sugar and stressed the heart. But Mary's cuts the trickery. No hidden sugars, no TBHQ, no yellow 6 glow, just grains and seeds baked together. They taste better without the chemicals. The nutty bite of flax and sesame is real flavor, not sprayed on cheddar seasoning. That means no orange fingers, no weird aftertaste, and no need to wonder if your cracker would last longer than your car tires. Nutritionists point to this brand as a rare safe harbor in the cracker aisle, and that matters. The FDA has flagged preservatives like BHT, while Europe banned certain dyes years ago that still show up in US snack packs. Mary's skips the shortcuts, which is why many dietitians recommend them for seniors on heart meds or people managing chronic conditions. Would you rather chew seeds or chew through your pharmacy bill? The health payoff is clear. The fiber keeps digestion moving. The protein steadies blood sugar. The omega-rich seeds fight inflammation instead of fueling it. For older adults juggling blood pressure or kidney stress, this isn't just a snack. It's a choice that avoids the sabotage hidden in cheap crackers. Mary's Gone crackers doesn't need fake colors, fake oils, or fake promises. And that alone makes it the cleanest crunch in the aisle. So yes, there are safe crackers if you know where to look. And Mary's sits right at the top of that short list. Thanks for watching. What's the worst cracker you've ever had? Stale, greasy, or just sad? Drop it below. Want more food secrets? Click it on the left and subscribe now so you don't miss the next exposé.